The following program is a presentation of WMUL-TV, Huntington, West Virginia. This program was made possible in part by a grant from the Ashland Oil Corporation. The making of glass is a process older than recorded history, whose origins are lost in antiquity, and yet, through thousands of years, man's fascination for the molten metal has never ceased. The fluid, elastic quality of glass, its unique affinity for form, have been the challenge and delight of artisans for centuries. In making glassware, men and metal seek an equilibrium. Glass controls man as much as man controls glass. The molten metal has a temperament, a personality, and must be coaxed rather than conquered. So, glass is created in an atmosphere of collaboration. The artist designs, the glass flows. The glass teaches, the artist learns. During the last 30 years, artists have begun to see glass as a medium of expression rather than simply a medium of utility. When 20th century concepts of design meet the Bronze Age technology of glassmaking, the results can be breathtaking and beautiful. This piece, Still Life with Fish, was designed in a Venetian glass factory by Marc Chagall and executed by the glass artist Roberto Moretti. Men have been making glass since that day, lost in the mists of time, that someone melted sand and soda together over a hot fire and encountered a vitreous mass fused together. From discovery came refinement. Men added potash and lime, lead and borax to the silica. They made glass opaque, cloudy, brilliant, heavy as lead, light as a feather. Glass of incredible strength and rigidity, and glass of amazing delicacy and fragility. The Egyptians and Greeks were the first to blow glass. The spread of glass furnaces throughout the Roman Empire is indicated by the bottles and vases and bowls and trinkets that have been discovered among Roman ruins. Throughout the centuries, artisans constantly refined the process of shaping it for the purpose of making functional objects. When the first settlers came to America, glass came with them. From the first glass factory at Jamestown, Virginia, the industry moved west with the frontier. These examples of traditional American ware reflect the functional aesthetic characteristic of centuries of glassmaking. Glass was blown and pressed into objects with a purpose, the stuff of day-to-day living. In the last several decades, the glass workers simply have been borrowed by the artist. A new breed of creative artists have turned to glass with new forms, new ideas, and new approaches. These new glass artists have recognized the potential for unique expression and beauty in glass. Examples of contemporary work, such as this portion of an exhibition by the Glass Arts Society, illustrate a diversity of ideas seemingly limited only by the imagination. A new generation of artists, university-trained and university-educated, is giving birth to this new aesthetic in the United States. Art glass in Europe, on the other hand, has arisen from and been supported by the factories. Ethan Ige, curator of the Huntington Galleries in Huntington, West Virginia, explains.
It's very interesting because I was asking some of the factory people who come to, for instance, the conference from which this exhibition was mounted, and And I asked one of the factory owners why it seemed that European factories have been more involved with glass artists over the years. And it was an extremely good answer. The difference is that the European factories trained and initiated the entire movement in Europe of contemporary studio glass, so that the factories actually select, train, and then hire automatically the people who come from their factory. Where in the United States, it's been the other way around. The movement has happened so quickly and through the university rather than through the factories, that the factories, it's just happened almost in spite of them. I mean, it's so fast. And the factories have not really been able to assimilate the quick changes that have occurred in the studio glass movement. They are only beginning now to do so.
Roberto Moretti is an artist in glass who was schooled in the European factory tradition. Learning the trade of the glass artisan at the hands of Venetian maestros was a constant lesson in humility to the novice helper. Sweeping the maestro's shop, cleaning his tools, running his errands, were the dues one paid in order to learn the subtle secrets of craftsmanship. Only under the tutelage of the maestro could the novitiate hope to make his fingers and tools deft enough to master the skills of the Baroque Venetian glassworking. Roberto was born in 1930 in Murano, Italy, an island near Venice. The youngest of 7 children, he grew up in the shadows of the glass factories that employed generations of Morettis and their countrymen. Both Roberto and his brother Alessandro would become well-known craftsmen. Roberto's father, Umberto, was a glass worker who fished for eels in the evening to make ends meet. Adalgisa, his mother, was a strong woman who urged her sons to find a good job in the glass factory, the only opportunity available for the poor sons of Murano. Roberto was a bright youngster and attended school through the 7th grade. The last 2 years were technical instruction for those entering Venetian glass factories. When World War II broke out, Roberto entered the Seguzzo factory as a helper. The maestros there called him clumsy and told him that his hands and feet were too big for him to ever be able to master the intricacies of Venetian glassmaking. Roberto hated it. As he grew older, he left glassmaking, he trained as a wrestler, he was drafted into the Navy, he even did a stint as a Venice city policeman. But each time, he came back to glassmaking. When he took a job in the Megesa factory in 1952, he came under the direction of Maestro Hermano Nason, and for the first time, learned true craftsmanship. Roberto's talents were tempered in the forge of hard work, long hours, and low pay. 1957 was the pivotal year. He married a Venetian girl, and with the responsibilities of marriage came a major decision. Glass entrepreneur Alfred Nobler had established a factory in South Africa and had hired Alessandro to work there. The South African operation failed, but Nobler began anew in the center of glassmaking in the United States, and he had transferred Alessandro to the new operation in Huntington, West Virginia. Now he was asking Roberto to come also. Roberto agonized over the decision. He asked his friend and mentor, Hermano Nason, for advice. Nason's response: "Your talents can take you anywhere. You have nothing to lose."
Then I wasn't making money. I wasn't making any money. I mean, just to live, you know, but nothing special. So I decided that the work was hard, everything. So I decided I didn't want to work no more. Still, I stick with my idea that I should find an easier job in my life. And I became a city policeman for a year and a half. But then I find out my life was too dull. I find out that it wasn't the answer. You don't do nothing all day in Venice. A city policeman, you don't do nothing. That time, it was crime-free. There was no crime around or anything. And they give me a motorboat sometimes to go around the canal, you know. It's check, was nothing to check. Somebody that threw the garbage in the canal, you find them, something like that. So I saw my life draw in front of me. No, probably in 10 years you get one stripe, 15 years another stripe, 20 years you retire, and that's you die, and that's it. I did like that. In the meantime, my brother, he came in the United States. He was working in South Africa. So the factory that they was working, it went bankrupt in South Africa. So Mr. Noble from New York, he hired him to come to the United States. So he needed a helper, and I decided that I will come to the United States and start working again. So I come to the United States to help my brother, and I help him. And mostly I was making, he wanted me to make a stopper, small animal, no stuff, you know. It was okay, but I never, I say if I start working glass again, I will never forget my dream. Art, you know. Otherwise, your life is empty. If you don't create, if you don't do something, if you use your knowledge, whatever your boss understands or not, it was not important to me. Still, I want to go my way, and I did pretty good. I do plenty of things, plenty of sculpture, plenty of everything. See, I love abstract art. So long, it's sincere things. It's not just an excuse to avoid reality. See, there are few artists that they treat art like an excuse to find something new, to find a new way. This is I believe, stupid and cheating. I believe that any artist, he got to believe on what he's doing. It doesn't matter if he go abstract or not, but he got to know what he should know. Wait on change to see what's coming from my glass, and then I name it. No, to me, you got to know what you want from the start. You got to have a philosophy behind, a knowledge of what you want. Then sometimes it comes well, sometimes it don't come well, but you cannot just blow a piece of glass and let it fall or something, and then name it Higgs, whatever. You know, this is no art, because the same artist, he call himself artist, but if you don't put the best of himself behind of whatever he offers, then he probably have a chance. He dwell on do so many pieces that something come by the chance that they look like something. And then he call himself an artist. For me, I say not. See, the attitude toward art, you know, is not a simple attitude. It's of a respect. Because it's not something that it's not something that is tangible, like in doing a vase or something. Art, you got to have the gift of you got to transmit to the viewer your point of view, your philosophy. So first of all, you have a respect. I never take if I decided I want to make a sculpture, I have already in my mind. I will never take it no lightly at all. Sometimes I don't want to be too tight, you know what I mean? Because if you are too tight for the perfection, then you lose the meaning of your thoughts, you know. But let's say like you got to work with all of yourself, with your arm, with your mind, with your heart. Your heart mostly of everything. If I succeed on transmit on glass a feeling of a person, the first person feeling, not whatever she see, but whatever she think or whatever they transmit on her face, or on the mood, on the way she move, or the situation in which she is. This is a hard for me. Of course, there are so many philosophy, a different, like I say, different way to see things. But for me, I'm a humanist. Glass is a challenge for me. It still is. I will never understand glass completely. It's a challenger. It's a very flame material. It's probably 2,000 Fahrenheit when you are working. And when you get it, it's a mass of incandescent things. Then from there, you got to start making something alive. This is the mystery when I was a little boy that I looked people working glass. It amazed me only time how they can handle the molten things, do things and blow and make a vase and make it whatever they was making. It was a challenge for me only time. You don't realize when you are young, but now on the point in which I am, it's still a challenge to me. A balance of things, I can explain. Let's say there was a few figures that I make of women or a sorrow or something, that somehow, when you are working, you put so much heart to them, that only when the glass was cool, and depends how the light hit the glass, I can see there. I mean, whatever, I look like I said, by golly, how I did that. Like you take a picture, whatever angle you take it, there I see flow on the eyes of the woman. Somehow, I don't know, is it a gift or is it a guessing probably, what glass will do when it's cool, because anytime you work hard glass, you gotta think when it's cool, the light, what kind of play the light will do on the glass. That's me a bank on it. It got to be there. So you know that in the factory, I do about everything to do in the daytime. But when it's about to make art, at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending how I feel. Sometimes I go to work on Saturday, I'm blank. I don't have nothing in my mind, nothing to do, So I got to do. But sometimes I just have the good vein, I call it. And I do pretty good, but they become my life. There is no sense to even to work anymore if you can create something. Sometimes your feeling you go against your reason. Do you know what I mean? Not always. When you work with art, you get a part of it, whatever you are doing, for the period in which you are working. And sometimes the reason suggests you something, but your feeling suggests you something else. So I say, oh, I'm doing everything. I should have done the movement different. I should have carved this part more lower. Instead, I come to a. But then I said, let's go home and let's see what the final result is. Really, I find out that probably the subconscious part that makes you do the wrong move, it was the right move. Let's put it this way. When you are 20, you go to the art school. Then you don't learn the craft no more. You learn about arts. So you are a hand picker right now and there. You don't go nowhere. You don't do nothing no more. You just go on the class of the artist. You call yourself artist when you don't know how to work. Still, I don't think that I will do different in no way, because you see, to be an artist, they don't teach you in the school. Even you are by your heart, or there is no school that teach you how to be an artist. Okay, now they come from the university, so they have a furnace there or whatever. So they go working class, major in art. They have a major in art, So they start working class, but they don't know how to work. The sooner they learn a little, the first couple of days or probably 1 week, they say already I make it 3 masterpieces, I make it 3 sculpture, I make it 3. That sounds a little bit funny to me. Probably I am a little bit retarded myself, but you know what I mean. And people don't know the difference between things that they think that they do on purpose to be straight the glass like that. They do on purpose because they are intellectual artists. But me, I know what's behind. Those people they are out. They're gonna make a box. They put a lot of effort to it. They love it. They like it. It's a new to see. He talk with them and see what they do. It looked like me when I was a child. But I saw glass. I was so fascinated to see glass developing and moving and shrinking and developing. That's I have everything figured out in my mind. But I remember one morning, I had I was probably 17-year-old. I had a couple of boys that want to help me, so I decided I'm going to make a monument, a knight over a horse, big. So I have everything on my mind. And we work for 4 hours. Work, I end up with a horse that look like a frog, and the knight, he look like you know what I mean? Enthusiasm, Well, let's say like enthusiasm, it should never be mistaken with the capability. Yeah, I believe with the help of the government and the owner of the glass factory, I will open a center of glass. I will open, let's say like a school of glass. Then my ambition is before I get too old, I get senile or stupid or something. To teach them the basic, and then from there, how to make a paneling, how to marble glass in the proper way, how to set your glass in order before you start working your glass. Set him up and control the glass. And teach them how to blow freehand, without mold. And then from there, on the second year probably, teach them how to carve glass, sculpture glass, literally sculpture glass. Don't call sculpture whatever you blow. Just sculpture the way I do, just sculpture glass. Because I believe there are plenty of ideas, they have it. They are very intelligent, they are very versatile, those boys. I saw them. I saw what they are doing in glass. And then teach them how to sculpture glass. Then finish probably the second year. Then they can apply their art or philosophy on whatever they learn. And then probably when I die, would be too old, then in America we will have a class of craftsmen and artists in glass that they can be compared to the rest of the world.
Whether cunning ally or cruel enemy, glass in the hands of the artist is infinitely capable of expression. The artist pats, coaxes, cajoles, at times leading, at times following the metal. The essence of the glass worker's art is the oneness with the glass, a sense of working it with a skill born of experience, patience, and knowing. The essence of Roberto Moretti is his tremendous élan vital, a sense of self and a love for his work, his art and his life that touches all who know him. This self-assured bear of a man drinks life in great gulps and makes glass sculpture as an act of love and of fulfillment. The glass arts are changing. University-trained artists comprise the vanguard of the studio glass movement. Much new art glass reflects new thinking and new techniques that are a far cry from the traditional craft of the glass artisan. And yet, as long as artists like Roberto Moretti continue to work, a tradition of creation through craftsmanship will be preserved, a tradition upon which today's glass artists may yet see fit to build.
Saint Agostino, they asked him one time, I don't remember who asked him, I believe Petrarca, asked him, he said, what's the difference between an artist, a worker, and a craftsman? He said that a worker, a good worker, he works well with his hand. A good craftsman, he works very well with his hand and his mind. And he said an artist, he uses his hand, his mind, and his art.